Yu is a talentless, midget soy boy who joins a school full of talented students. But when he moves in with the three most talented baddies of the academy, it leaves him no choice but to lock in and make talented babies. It all starts at Seika Academy, where gifted students cultivate their talents, and our boy, Yu, has just transferred to this elite school. But on the first day, he's getting whooped by the vice captain of the martial arts club, while everyone watches. The vice captain scolds Yu for being a soy boy loser, and everyone looks down on him for not being able to follow in the footsteps of his mother, Subaru, an A-list actress who is the personification of greatness. The vice president tells Yu that he needs to show his talent to the three royals, who are the three top students at the academy. But out of anger, Yu tells him to stop comparing him to his mother. He charges at the vice president, but the anime gods forgot to give him plot armor, and he can only punch like a weakling and gets himself yeeted to the floor. Everyone watches in disgust at how pathetic the son of the great Subaru really is, but Yu reflects how he's used to being treated as a failure compared to his mother. Suddenly, he preaches and rizzes up the vice president to stop being obsessed with talent, and the dude actually folds for a second, realizing that Yu has his mother's godly charms. Yu simply gives up and walks away, not caring about the loss. But the vice president knows how fatal it is if Yu has no real talent, so he grabs him with the intention of beating him until he achieves greatness. But in that moment, the vice president gets kicked by the president of the martial arts club, and one of the three royals, Nico, who is the best martial artist at the academy. The next moment, surprising everyone with their presence, are the other two royals showing up. Miwa, the top performing student in the advanced program and chess hottest prospect, and Kazuki, the brightest star of the art department and the best theater actor. Yu trembles in fear, questioning why the three royals are here. Kazuki approaches him, and when she finds out that he's an absolute scrub with zero talent, she bluntly informs Yu that he has no place in this school, which is filled with talented people. To their confusion, he shows them his accepted application to join the school's general education. But the girls have no clue what that is, as they are used to studying at the top, and not the general. After seeing their unwelcoming reaction, Yu tries to walk away and go to his general class, but Nico stops him and tells him to clean up the dojo. Yu tries to reject her demand, telling these hoes that he ain't a slave, but Nico tells this bum that losers have to clean the dojo, and Yu half-heartedly follows her orders. Later, when the martial arts team enters the dojo, they are in shock at how clean the dojo is after Yu cleaned it. Meanwhile, Yu is on his way to his new home, and he reflects on how, for as long as he can remember, he has always wanted to get praised like his talented mother. He initially tried to train his acting skills, and was confident when he reached the acting levels of The Rock. But when he saw firsthand how his mother acted like Denzel, he realized then that, compared to her, he was a talentless scrub. However, he kept trying in different fields to showcase his talents, but every time he failed, he grew more distant from his own mother. But then, Subaru got horribly ill, and Yu just realized how distant he had been to her, who was the only family he had. But then, in the hospital, she started rewatching one of her film series, where she played a mother in a happy family over and over again. Yu told her how he liked that show, and his mother said that she loved it as well. She asked him what he loved about the series, and when he expressed his love for the scenes where the family had dinner, Subaru told him that she loved those scenes the best as well. It was then that Yu realized that, despite all the talent she had, what she truly wanted was to have a family like the one in that series. But before Yu could fulfill her greatest wish, she died, and left Yu a note, wishing for him to have his own happy family. While he doesn't know how to achieve it, Yu intends to get it and make up for everything he and his mother missed out on. He reaches the house he will be staying in, and to his joy, it's a massive, beautiful mansion. Suddenly, Nico pops up, attacking him while wearing her towels, calling him a creep and a burglar. Yu quickly says that he's not a burglar, and Nico demands an explanation from him. Suddenly, she slips and ends up on the floor in prime position for someone like Johnny Sins to pounce.
Yeah, boy.
Then, instead of helping her up, Yu mocks her using his aura, and when she tries to smack him, he throws a towel on her head and starts drying her. When she tries to fight back, he rizzes her to calm down, and she lets him dry his hair. Suddenly, the other two pop up after their long day, and they surround Yu, demanding an explanation. but Yu himself is confused about why the three royals are also here. In that moment, Yu's phone rings, and the owner of the house informs him that he will start living there as a favor he has for his late mother, and that he has 3 daughters living there. He hopes that Yu will get along with them, and that his talent can thrive, so his mother's legacy of greatness lives on. Yu realizes that the dream of having his own happy family is dead as the sisters don't welcome his presence in their home. They can't believe that their father took in a stray loser, and they refuse to take care of him. But Yu is still convinced there's hope that they can be a happy family together, and tries to win them over. He suddenly notices something on the floor, but Kazuki quickly picks it up before him. In that moment, he looks around and realizes that the house is a complete mess. He then sees that the sink is filled with dirty dishes, and the girls blame Kazuki for failing to do her chores, but she excuses herself, saying that she was too busy rehearsing theater. But Yu finds some broken plates hidden, and they realize that Kazuki did try to wash the dishes, but she was so horrible that she broke all of them, and Kazuki gets flustered. Then, Yuuki brings out the dirty laundry, and they reveal that Miwa was responsible for it, and she fails to do her chores as well. Out of frustration, Miwa tells Yu to take over her chore, but Yu has no issues with it. He then points out that Nico is responsible for house cleaning, which she failed in, but she has had enough of him mocking them for failing to do house chores. The 3 royals start barking back at him, pointing out his failures in school, but while they're yapping nonsense, Yu gets busy, and to their surprise, he manages to clean up everything, all the while they were mocking him. Nico remembers how he was the one who cleaned the dojo, and Yu uses his handsome face to riz them up.
Oh my!
And they all quickly regroup to avoid his charms. The next morning, Yu is excited that he has a day off, but suddenly, the house starts shaking, and he realizes that Nico is in the middle of her intense training in her dojo so early in the morning. He then finds Miwa already training to play shogi against Ai, and deep in frustration. And he finds Kazuki in the kitchen cooking up devious green juice like he's Walter White. He asks Kazuki what all of them are doing, and she informs him that they are doing their morning routine, stating that the same way he brushes his teeth in the morning, they all do their own routines. She then tells Yu that they will all head out and asks Yu to watch over the house. Wanting to build a happy family, Yu asks that they have breakfast together, and Kazuki coldly brushes him off, saying she wants to go to rehearsal. Yu then tries to get Miwa for breakfast, but to his surprise, she's already snacking on unhealthy foods while practicing shogi. However, when he tries to stop her, he can feel the immense aura coming out of her, and realizes that they remind him of his mom. He remembers how his mother always brushed him off whenever he invited her for breakfast, and instead had her own pre-cooked diet food in the fridge. Suddenly, Nico pops up from practice and drools over the food. But when Yu offers her some, she rejects, and despite him teasing her, she tells him that the food he's eating is not balanced enough for her. It confuses him why someone cares that much about breakfast, but she tells him that in order for her to be the best, she has to feed herself the best nutrition. He now sees how unlike normal people like him, prodigies like his mom or the sisters are so driven that they do everything to get better at their talents, like Miwa eating sugary foods to feed her brain. Just then, the sisters all run outside to start their day, but Yu quickly stops them. He tells them that they forgot something, and all 3 of them rummage through their belonging in panic. They all scream at him once they don't find anything missing, but Yu tells them they're wrong, and in a loving manner, he gives them all a warm goodbye, saying that they forgot that. It shocks them all to hear that, and while they all call it a stupid thing to do, as they all walk away, they are all blushing from cheek to cheek, as they have never had anyone so warmly send them off their day. Then, Yu gets a phone call from their father to check on him. He then asks Yu for a favor to be his daughter's helping hand, as he believes that his daughters, while prodigies, will run into obstacles, and by helping them overcome those obstacles, they will open up to him. The father tells him that Kazuki has a tough audition, Nico has her martial arts tournament, and Miwa has her shogi events, which gives an opening for him to help them out. But Yu has no idea how he, a useless, talentless bum, could ever be an assistance to prodigies like those 3. However, when he starts imagining the girls fail in what they do best, he can't help but recall how painful it was for him when he failed and became his mother's disappointment. So he decides to do what he can, and he starts by planning to get to know them better by eating meals together with them. Later, after martial arts practice, Nico goes home to Yu cooking and screams out loud, forgetting they are living together. When she sees Yu tasting his food, she creams over how hot he is. Yu then offers Nico to have a taste of his cooking, and while she was tempted at first, she pulls back her composure and rejects his offer, saying that she refuses to be tamed by his cooking. She leaves him to take a beauty shower, and when she returns to the kitchen, she's surprised to see Yu cooking even more intensely with all the different cookbooks in front of him. Just then, Miwa pops up in the kitchen, and Yu declares to them that he will cook the greatest meals for them, but the girls simply brush him off. It reminds Nico of how she and her sisters always rejected all of their housemaids' cooking. She deeply believed that she had to control what she consumed, so she could always be in the best shape possible. But in the middle of eating her dry chicken breast, Nico gets curious and takes a peek at what Yu cooked for them. She instantly drools at the sight of the gourmet meal she's presented with, and Yu pops up from behind. He obsessively informs her how the food has all the nutrients she needs to get in the best shape, and after his insistence, Nico agrees to eat it. Yu collapses from fatigue and tells Nico that he cooked recommended food by dietitians just for her, and it makes Nico blush to know that he did all of that just for her. When she finally takes a bite, she praises Yu for his cooking, and he imagines it like him taming a stray cat using a bottle of milk. Meanwhile, Miwa is secretly drooling while stalking them, and when she steps down, Yu also pesters her with information about how the food he cooked has the perfect acids to boost her brain power. Miwa agrees to eat them, and Nico realizes that Yu also cooked specifically with Miwa's interest in mind. While they're eating, the sisters start talking about how long it has been since they last ate together, and Yu smiles at their interaction. Just then, Kazuki pops up, confused seeing her sisters eating together. Just like before, Yu yaps to her about how her cooking would be beneficial for her and her talent, giving him a clear skin for theater, but to his surprise, Kazuki coldly rejects his offer. Nico tries backing him up against Kazuki, but Kazuki tells them that dining in together is not for her, and Yu sees it like a cat refusing to be fed. It leaves him hurt and heartbroken, and Nico feels bad for him, knowing how hard he worked for the food, so she takes the food from his hand and eats it herself. However, Yu suddenly yaps about how Kazuki's meal will make her fat due to the high amount of carbs in it, which angers Nico, who is trying to be nice. But then, Yu sweetly assures her that he will help keep track of her food, and Nico turns redder than a tomato. 3 days later, Yu starts school, still wondering how to get through to Kazuki and fulfill their father's wish for him to help his daughters out. He decides the best way is to confront her head-on, so he goes to her while she is in the middle of getting glazed by her fangirls. They all recognize Yu as the talentless scrub, and Kazuki joins in mocking him. Suddenly, Yu starts pleading to Kazuki to stop denying his advances and to instead accept his special gift, one that he knows will make her very happy. But while Yu is referring to the food, the others think Yu is bumping bellies with Kazuki. They demand that Kazuki explain why she's tickling a loser's pickle, and Yu runs away, seeing the chaos. He approaches Nico to get help to get closer to Kazuki, but when he calls out to her, all she can remember is how much she gets flustered by him. Her friends confront Yu for acting friendly with Nico, but Nico herself pops up with a devastating aura, scaring all of them, and Yu runs away to his final resort, Miwa. Meanwhile, Miwa is in class, busy playing shogi on her phone. When she overhears others having trouble with a math question, she easily answers it for them, but instead of them being amazed, they feel intimidated by Miwa's intelligence. When Yu arrives, he realizes how, unlike her other sisters, and like back home, Miwa is extremely quiet at school. Yu tries talking to her and gets her to have lunch with him, but Miwa refuses and walks away from him. However, Yu refuses to give up and starts chasing her, which results in a wild goose chase around the campus, all because he wants to have lunch with her. It ends with them both slumped and out of energy, but Yu realizes that Miwa is as bad athletically as he is. He points out how Miwa is quiet in class, and she admits how, as one of the 3 royals, she struggles to connect with the others and talk about girls' stuff. Yu expresses how he can relate as a fellow royal like her, which annoys Miwa, and he tells her that he's a royal failure who fails at practically everything. In that moment, Miwa giggles at his foolishness, calling him an idiot. After calming down, they have lunch and Miwa informs Yu that to get closer to Kazuki, he has to find out her favorite food. Miwa recalls how when they were little, Kazuki asked their mother for something special to eat, and Yu realizes that he has to find Kazuki's favorite food, which is her mother's cooking. Later, at home, Yu tries to cook something special when Kazuki walks in and collapses in front of Yu. Then, they find out that she has a severe fever, and while the others try to care for her, she kicks them all out of her room, refusing their help. Yu refuses to give up and plans to send her more food, but Kazuki refuses to try them and calls them all disgusting, which frustrates Yu. He barges into her room to get her his cooking, and when she tries to kick him out, she feels extremely weak and falls on top of him. Yu tells her that she will miss her rehearsals if this keeps on going, and suggests that he become her acting partner until she gets better. He boasts himself as the son of the great actress, Subaru, who has started acting from a young age, and Kazuki realizes that she might be in the presence of greatness himself. But when Yu actually starts reading his dialogue, he sounds like a dying cow and gets kicked out for being useless. However, he refuses to give up trying and comes back days after days after days to be her acting partner, but always gets kicked out in the end. It frustrates Kazuki how unlike her, who is always flawless and dependable, Yu is someone so pathetic and unreliable. Then, one night, she goes downstairs and finds Yu watching all of her performance on the television while practicing his lines so he can get better. Kazuki feels touched by his effort, and even though Yu continues to be a trash actor, she acknowledges his hard work. The next day, Yu is back in her room, trying to be her acting partner, but after what Kazuki saw the night before, she doesn't kick him out and joins him in acting. It touches Yu, and to both of their surprise, Yu manages to deliver one line of dialogue brilliantly. He starts crying to his mother, feeling emotional about how he manages to act well after more than 10 years of trying, and Kazuki can't help but feel envy with how passionate Yu is with his own struggles. Kazuki admits her defeat and agrees to eat his cooking so she can get healthier. Yu celebrates and promises to cook her a masterpiece, but Kazuki asks him to stop and tells him that she has a request. Before she says anything, Kazuki curls up in her bed, feeling embarrassed by what she's about to say. After gathering enough courage, she tells Yu that she doesn't like eating carrots, mushrooms, bell peppers, and many more. And Yu realizes that all this time, Kazuki was just a fussy eater. The next morning, Miwa and Nico are in total shock to see Kazuki joining them for dinner after her rejections the past week. Yu compliments her for finishing her food, and Kazuki is happy to eat them as long as there are no carrots. But to her surprise, Yu whispers in her ear, saying that she blended the carrots in, causing her to start tweaking. It makes Yu extremely happy to finally be able to tame all 3 kittens through his cooking. But suddenly, they all tell him not to cook dinner for them. When asked why, they explain that they will all be eating out as they all have their own practice and activities. When they leave, it reminds Yu of how his mother used to do the same, not eating at home for a month, which caused their relationship to get strained. He realizes even more that, just like his mom, he 3 sisters are both gifted and obsessed, while he is only a talentless bum who is trash at everything. He recalls how their father asked him to be his daughter's helping hand, and how Yu's mother wished him to get himself a happy family. But he quickly realizes that he doesn't know what makes a happy family.
Do me a favor, please. Get out of here.
So he puts on his mother's TV series where she played a loving mother in a happy family, and can't help but smile seeing the warmth in front of him. Then, the family on the TV is preparing their wedding ceremony to show to their kids, but it makes Yu feel conflicted seeing his own mother in a wedding dress. Just then, the 3 sisters return home after their day of activities, and when Kazuki sees Yu in tears and what he is watching on the television, she assumes that he is missing his mother dearly. So she approaches Yu with kindness and tells him that he doesn't have to force himself to do the chores just to win them over. The other sisters agree and remind him that he's only a freeloader, but that offends Yu. He stands up and tells them that he refuses to be a freeloader, as with his mother. He always thought that with the talent difference between them, he and his own mother could never bond together. But then he realized that they're quite similar to each other in a lot of ways. But before they got to rebuild their relationship, Subaru died, and Yu doesn't want that to happen between him and the sisters. He declares that he wants to make a happy family with the sisters, and they are all in shock to hear that. Nico thinks his idea is absurd and asks what his plan is to make a happy family with them. Just then, on the television, it shows a wedding scene between Subaru and her TV husband, and the girls quickly realize that Yu can achieve a happy family by marrying them. The girls start fantasizing about themselves in wedding dresses, but that annoys all the girls, and they tell Yu that he will never clap their cheeks as a loving husband. Later, in the bath, Nico thinks about Yu and how he's so strong that he's able to keep his slim gym in check while living with 3 hot girls. Suddenly, he screams, and when Nico checks on him, she finds out that he's crying over a trivial thing and scolds him for ruining her bath time. He scolds her back for only wearing her towel, not wanting her to get cold, but she gets flustered and runs back to the bathroom. Suddenly, she runs into Miwa, and she notices how red Nico's face is, which is weird to her, and while Nico tries to hide the truth, Miwa suspects it involves Yu. Just then, Yu hands Miwa her laundry, but when Miwa reaches out, their hands touch, and Miwa gets startled, causing the laundry to fall. Nico points out how Miwa is blushing and asks whether she's crushing on Yu, but she rejects that accusation, and it starts an argument between them, both refusing that they have feelings for Yu. Just then, Kazuki pops up and mocks the sisters for fighting over some limp willy loser like Yu. Then, being a midget, Yu asks Kazuki to help him put a pan on the top shelf, and she happily helps him out. After doing it, Yu thanks her with a smile on her face, and while Kazuki acts cool, she blushes hard, and the other sisters notice it. It starts another argument between all 3 of them, but Yu jumps in, scolding them for fighting, while not knowing the reason they fight, and it annoys all 3 of them. When the sisters leave, Yu notices that the whole place is dirty again, which annoys him, but when he thinks about how they ate at the same table, he's happy and proud of how far he has come. Suddenly, to his surprise, he stumbles upon a picture of the girls from years ago, and he can't believe how cute and precious they look. He then quickly realizes that one of the sisters owns it, but when he asks them, none of them admit that the picture is theirs. However, he realizes that the real owner of the picture is lying, refusing to admit that she wants her sisters to go back to the way things were, and has the same goal as him of wanting a happy family. The next day, before he gets to find out, the sisters inform him before school that they will all be leaving to go to competitions for the weekend, leaving Yu without answers. However, when he checks the locations where the girls are heading, he gets an idea to do something to get them closer. That night, Yu makes the girls some warm milk before bed, and informs them that he has booked them hotel rooms for the weekend. Miwa protests how much she hates hotel food, and Yu rizzes her up, teasing her for missing his cooking, and while she gets flustered, the others deep down admit that they will miss it. The next day, the girls leave for their events, and Miwa attends a shogi tournament, where she wipes her opponent's floor, proving her superiority as a genius. Afterward, on her way to the hotel, she walks past a cherry tree festival, which reminds her of the time she went with her sisters. Then, when she gets to the hotel, to her shock, Kazuki is also there, checking into her room. They ask each other why they are there, and suddenly, Nico pops up, also questioning why they're in her hotel. They all realize that they all went to the same city for their events, and just then, Yu pops up, expressing his disappointment with how the sisters do not know where each other went. Then, Yu reveals that they will be staying in the same room, and when they ask him why, he expresses how it's a good chance for them to bond on their time off, like actual sisters, by sharing a room. Then, he declares that he will be their festival conductor, and tells them that they all should visit the cherry tree festival like the old days. Instead of being happy, the girls bark at him for deciding something stupid the night before their big events, and he tries to win them over by telling them to visit a shrine that gives them luck. Initially, Nico scoffs at his idea, saying that real champions don't need luck, but when Yu shows her how goats like Messi, LeBron, Eminem, and Johnny Sins go to the shrine to be the best, the girls change their tune. He then shows them pictures of the foods at the festival, and the girls agree with how tasty it looks compared to hotel food. Just then, Kazuki is the first to agree to come to the festival, but she demands that all of the sisters wear something with more drip if they want to hang with her. So, Yu takes them to a kimono rental, and the owner is shocked to see the famous Mikadono sisters in her store. She quickly gets to work and puts the sisters in the best kimonos they have, making them look like true Japanese beauties. But Yu notices that Nico is on the sidelines, refusing to wear them. He tries to convince her to pick one out of the 100 pretty kimonos, but she refuses. Just then, the owner brings her a blue kimono, saying that it will enhance her tomboy aesthetic, but it reminds Nico of how, in the past, she wanted to wear girly stuff, but was forced to look more tomboy. Suddenly, Yu picks a pink, girly one for Nico, and while the sisters and the owner think that a girly aesthetic doesn't fit Nico, Yu strongly disagrees, saying she will look beautiful in it, which folds Nico sideways. Nico then agrees to try it on, and when she finally presents her look, they are all in awe at how beautiful she is, rocking a look that any man in existence would go to war for. Thank you for watching today's recap video. If you enjoy this recap, comment down below Tomboy Beauty and hit the like button for next part.